Okay, it's a typo on mine, 743-553. All right, sir. Let me introduce the panel to you. My name is Cheryl Renatza. Mr. Chuck Tillis is seated to my left. Mr. Zanny Barra to my right. We are your parole panel here today. You are here for a revocation decision. First, let me acknowledge that you have Ms. Williams is here to speak on your behalf, and we'll ask her to do so at the appropriate time. Do you have your parole revocation questionnaire?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Is that your signature at the bottom of that page?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay, and based on that information in that form, it was determined that you're not eligible for appointed counsel. You ready to proceed? You ready to move forward with the revocation hearing?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay, I'm going to read the allegations against you, Mr. Beal, after which you should enter a plea of guilty with a statement, or not guilty. And after we get to please, we'll have a conversation with you, and we'll also hear from Ms. Williams. Ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You've accused of violating condition number 4, and it reads: you were arrested March 19, 2024 by the Baton Rouge Police Department and charged with unauthorized entry of an inhabited dwelling, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and aggravated with a firearm. On September 3rd, 2024, the charges of aggravated assault with a firearm and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon were dismissed. How do you plead to violating condition number 4?
Not guilty.
We have condition number 5. And it says you were arrested March 19, 2024 by the Baton Rouge Police Department and charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. The charge was dismissed. How do you plead to violating condition number 5?
Not guilty.
Number 10, you are behind on your parole fees in the amount of $123 at the time of your arrest, and you're currently behind $504. How do you plead to violating condition number 10?
Not guilty.
All right. Well, why don't you tell us what happened? Why are you in jail then if you're not guilty? I mean, I know you're here on a parole warrant, but why were you arrested in the first place?
I mean, to be honest, it's a lot of it's a long story, but like I was completely innocent of everything. But it's like when people know that you on parole and stuff, it seems to people could get mad and you could trigger buttons, and then certain things could be called against you and stuff, such as the aggravated stuff. See what I'm saying?
Stand by 1 second, please. Ms. Williams, can you either get yourself stationary or just kind of turn your camera off until you get to a spot where you can be still? Because we see the sky moving around a lot. It's making us dizzy.
Okay, how I turn my camera off?
If you're at the place where you're going to stay, I mean, you're fine right now, but you were moving around a lot with your camera.
Yeah, I'm trying to put my baby in the car.
Okay.
Okay.
You see a little camera on your it's like video camera.
It says stop video.
That's it. That's it.
All right.
And you click that same button when you're ready to turn it back on after you get the baby in the car. Okay.
All righty.
All right. So tell us what happened on March 19th.
What on March 19th? I guess that's the day that I came to jail, and they read me all my rights.
I want to know what brought you to jail. Yeah, that's the day you got to jail. But what happened at the house?
They came and told me that I had a warrant for my arrest and stuff like that.
So you didn't do anything?
No, ma'am. I promise I never did anything. That's how all my charges, I went all the way to trial. All my charges got dismissed and threw away. I never did anything.
Yeah, well, but weren't you at the house of Miss Williams' mother? Was it why would she say, I think it was she that called the police, wasn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Why she called the police?
Oh, because me and my girl who just got out the phone, my baby mother just got out the phone, had a disagreement, and then the phone dropped, and she got scared because she just lost her son and thought things was getting overhanded, but it never got out of hand.
So what do you mean? I mean, tell us exactly what happened. Did you go? Okay, this says that Miss Williams, you came to her mother's house, you wanted to talk to her, and she told you you had to leave. She didn't let you inside, you became aggravated. You attempted to push your way inside, and she hurried up and closed the door, but she dropped the keys, and you took the keys and went around back and came in the house.
I don't recall none of that. I promise I don't. I don't recall none of that. I really suffered from bad trauma, but I don't recall none of that. None of that never happened.
That's the first thing that happened that day. And the mother overheard that. And then later that day is when this is the firearm issue, where you were chasing some guy who you thought. Were you chasing the guy?
That was a completely lie. That's why that guy threw away the.
Why would he say that?
I told you, like, nah, on the behalf of Miss Williams and them, like, that part is like what I told you, but with the guy, you just must have mistake identity me, you just just call because, like, no, I'm on parole. Like, I keep, like, I'm telling you, and no lie, that people know that I'm on parole and get mad, and that's a easy way you could call and just say, oh, Mr. Ville chased me with a firearm, or Mr. Ville did this and did that, and I come to jail. Like, I feel like, that shouldn't be right when people know that I'm on parole, and it ain't no way to be able to prove that this happened without bringing me to jail, and not that I have to face y'all and be
Right.
facing.
You know Henry Haney?
Yes, ma'am.
So why he would say that about you just because he knows you're on parole?
Yes, ma'am. That's why the charges and stuff got dismissed. Like, that's what I'm telling you. That's
Is he?
why the charges got dismissed.
Well, I'm not sure that's why the charges got dismissed, but I'd like to hear Miss Williams. Are you ready to tell us what you want us to know, Miss Williams?
I mean, what he's saying is what happened.
So you told the police that he broke in the house or used the keys?
No, he didn't break in the house. He came there to get his insurance card.
And
I slid him his insurance card through the door. So we had a mild argument. It was not him breaking in the house. So that's what made me tell him just leave. He was always welcome to the home. My mom was over the phone at the time with me listening in. So that's what made her panic hearing us fuss. And she just called the police.
She was on the phone.
She was on the phone with me.
He came to the door.
Yes. But he never broke in the home.
What about coming in the back door?
I mean, that's not breaking in the house.
Well, if you tell him to leave and you don't want him in the house, you told him to leave, and it says.
Because I wasn't trying to, at the time I was pregnant and I was stressed and had things going on and I wasn't trying to go back and forth. That's why I told him to leave.
Right, but so you refuse. This is the police report. She, being you, refused to let him inside the front door, so he became agitated and began accusing her of infidelity. You advised him that he attempted to push his way inside. You hurried up and closed the door, accidentally dropped the house keys outside on the ground. He took the keys and went to the back door and used the keys to gain entry into the residence. that would appear to be unauthorized entry if you told him to leave. Then he ran it to your car door, tried to open it, because you jumped in your vehicle that he was going to show you. And then later in the day is when the alleged incident happened with Mr. Hayne. So why, if you're saying whatever you told the police wasn't true?
I mean, they added on, like I said, it wasn't considered as breaking into the home.
Ms. Williams, did he come through the back?
Mm-hmm.
He did come inside.
Mm-hmm.
So, what happened then?
Nothing happened. I left out the front to get in my car.
Oh, okay, you left.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He, I guess he pursued you, or that was it?
You say he pursued me?
He pursued you.
What you mean in that way?
Did he follow you?
No, at this point, I mean, he went back out the front door, but I was gone.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
The other guy who's saying that he chased him with a gun, what was that about?
Oh, I don't know anything about that. I don't even know who the guy is.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I don't know anything about this situation.
Mr. Bauer, got any questions? Okay. Thank you, Ms. Williams. Mr. Veal, is there anything you want to say to us?
Yes, ma'am. I mean, I know y'all got all this type of stuff, and I know my conditions and stuff like that, but I promise, like I wasn't doing nothing wrong, stuff like that. Like I got a newborn baby, like that's the only thing that mattered to me. Like I just want to go home and do the right thing. See what I'm saying? I ain't trying to be doing all this jail stuff and getting falsely accused and stuff because I'm on parole and stuff. I just ask that y'all know that, just like the quit, with me going to trial, know that I was an innocent man.
What would you do if you get out and you are on parole and someone else do this? What do you do?
I mean, they not gonna never get a chance to do this anymore because I know how stuff is, and if y'all was to find it in y'all heart to release me again, I'm getting 2 jobs. I'm getting 2 jobs and doing better. I got 2 babies now, and I got a newborn baby. I gotta be there for him in each and every way, and be there for my 10-year-old daughter. Like, I can't afford to be having this going on. Cause I ain't hurting. I'm hurting, but at the end of the day, I'm hurting the people that really love me, which is my children.
Right. I need an executive session. I have a motion.
I
Need a
second.
Sarah Renowski.
Yes.
Danny Lamoureux.
Yes.
Chucky Tilley.
Yes.
Mr. Veal, we're going to be in executive session for just a few moments to discuss confidential matters.
They don't take executive session unless they consider.
Here.
Danny Lamoureux.
Here.
Chucky Tilley.
Here.
All right. Before we proceed, Mr. Veal, we have some more questions for Ms. Williams. Mr. Barra has some questions, Ms. Williams.
Ms. Williams, you're telling us that you're not worried about him, you're recommending him to be released?
Yes, sir.
You are? And you assure us you're not scared of him at all?
No, sir.
Scares, no fears? And you're not being forced to say this today or paid?
No, it's my decision.
Okay, so basically, with that being said, some stuff you told the police wasn't quite true. Because what he did to you would have made you scared. Just want to make sure that you realize how serious it is about not making up stories for the police and cause all kinds of trouble for him and for you. So
Well, I
just-
never made up a story.
well,
They're making it seem like he broke in. He didn't break in. That's what I was explaining.
because he came in with a key that you dropped outside.
Yes.
Well, he didn't have permission to come through the door, so that is a crime. But neither here nor there, we're not trying to go back there. I'm just wanting to make sure that your recommendation is to release him and that you're positively not fearful or scared of him in any way. And he's never done anything to harm you that would lead you to believe you need to be scared.
No, sir.
All right, then we can move.
What is the status of the relationship between the two of you? Your relationship is active? Did you hear me, Ms. Williams?
They muted me back. What was the question?
What is your relationship with Mr. Veal now? Are y'all in an active romantic relationship?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, thank you. Mr. Veal?
Yes, ma'am.
No, you're on parole and you're a third felony offender. Have you ever been on supervision before?
Not that I know of. This is my first time being on all this, ma'am.
Well, you're a third felony offender. And when you left jail, you signed a piece of paper agreeing to all the conditions of your supervision. And, you know, parole is just it's a privilege. And we hold you kind of to a higher standard to be sure you can follow the rules, the conditions of your parole, as well as the conditions, the rules of society. Can't afford to mess up. You got to make decisions. You got to be careful about who you hang around with. So I believe something happened, but I'm willing to give you a chance and not revoke your parole, return you back to supervision. I would add special conditions of your supervision in addition to your regular conditions that you signed for. We're going to add some special conditions. One is that you obtain a mental health evaluation. Your parole officer can help you with all this. You get a mental health evaluation and you do everything they tell you that you got to do in terms of treatment. If they say you need treatment.
Yes, ma'am.
You are to enroll in an anger management program, enroll and complete an anger management program. We're going to put you on electronic monitoring. The state's going to pay for it, but you're going to have a monitor. And you'll have a curfew from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. And the only exception for that is if you're at work and that's with the knowledge of your parole officer.
Yes, ma'am.
Understand all that?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right, Mr. Tillis,
I concur with Ms. Renata.
Mr. Byra.
And I'm going to concur with Ms. Renata also with the same special conditions.
All right, Mr. Veal, we don't want to see you again.
Yes,
Like
ma'am.
this?
That won't.
Okay, good luck to you, sir. All right, that concludes our business in East Baton Rouge. We're going to sign off at 11:58. Thank you, Captain Miles.
You're welcome. You all have a great day.